Welcome to the Chemung County SPCA.
Hi everyone, Mike Lanning here again, local realtor with Keller Williams, Southern Tier and Finger Lakes, and it's my pleasure today to be at the Chemung County SPCA, and I'm here with Erin Brucey.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I am a animal nut, so this is a big deal for me because I love to support not only nonprofits but local animals and all the things that you do. I can't wait to have the public know all your services.
Yes.
So can you start out by just kind of telling us a little bit about the SPCA's history? When did it start? How did it start, if you know any of that?
Sure, yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but the SPCA has actually been around for over 125 years.
Wow.
It was created as a shelter for not only animals but children in 1891. So we celebrated our 125th anniversary in 2016.
Children too?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I believe in the 70s that was dropped, and we just became a shelter focused on animals and homeless pets in the area. And moved locations in the 70s as well to this building. So we've been in here for close to 50 years.
Wow.
And have done a bunch of renovations and changed things around. So yeah, the SPCA has been around for a long time. It's a common misconception that we're affiliated with the ASPCA. We're a separate organization.
Is the ASPCA national?
Yes.
I thought so.
They are just bigger. We do get some grant funding from them and use them as a resource, but totally separate organization.
Okay. So how about you? How long have you been here, and what drew you here, and what kind of work history do you have in terms of this and maybe other vocations?
Well, like yourself, I'm a bit of an animal nut myself. So I applied for just an entry-level position back when I was getting my associate's degree. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Knew I loved animals. So I started 5 years ago as an animal care technician. So walking the dogs, cleaning cages, the not so fun stuff. And slowly worked my way up. So I was the customer service supervisor after being here for about 1.5 years. And then 2 years ago made my way to the role that I'm in now as the marketing and communications manager. And I was lucky enough to be able to get my bachelor's while I worked here, and it worked out because the position opened up, and I've been here ever since. I love it. I honestly, it's so great to be able to combine your passion with work. I have a ton of experience in customer service before this, but this has been, my career.
Best of both worlds for you then.
Yes.
So it's the vocation you like in terms of the technical part, but also you get to help animals. So.
Yeah, I mean, it feels so great to go home at the end of the day and know that you're making a difference. So.
Right. So talk a little bit about the SPCA. There might be people out there that don't really know what the mission is. So let's start with the mission, then we can talk about some services.
Sure. So we really try to focus on ending pet overpopulation. I would say one of our main goals really, and other than taking in animals that need help, is to combat the issue, which is by spaying and neutering. So we have a very, very robust spay-neuter clinic. We have a low-cost spay-neuter clinic as well as a subsidized program. So I would say, aside from taking in animals that need our help, really sort of getting to the root of the issue, spay neuter is our big one. We don't do stray control. We did stop doing that in, I think it was 2015. It's been a few years. So right now we take in owner surrenders. So if a family is relocating, can't afford their pet, or has to surrender an animal here for any number of issues, we do take the animal in. That being said, we have a number of safety net programs and services to try and keep the animal in the home. You know, we want people to bring an animal here as a last resort. So we have the spay neuter clinic. You know, if they're like, oh, you know, my animal's having this issue, or I have all these kittens, it's like, okay, well, let's get your cat fixed, and maybe we can avoid this issue in the future.
The root of the problem.
Exactly.
And that's the spay neutering. That's important that you have the services on the back end for the result of that not happening.
Exactly.
And then you're really trying to take care of the source.
Yep. Yep. They always say, like, something that I heard when I first started is a successful animal shelter is one that goes out of business. So if there's no pets, you know, that need to come into the shelter, we've done our job. Obviously, that'll never happen. But,
sure. Right.
So, and then we have our pet food pantry. So we do have, we partner with the Food Bank of the Southern Tier, and they bring us donations of food pet food that they can't use, and we service Chemung County residents that are going through tough times, having a hard time making ends meet. They can come here for temporary assistance. So if someone calls and says, I can't afford food for my pet this month, and they want to surrender it, we can offer that as an option to keep the pet at home.
So back to the stray program you said you don't do anymore. So to be clear, that means that animal control goes to get an animal somewhere. They don't bring it here.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Stray control. We don't have humane officers here anymore, so we just don't really have the means to do that. You know, that being said, if an animal comes here in need, we can take that animal in. But to ensure that the animal has the best opportunity to find its owner, it's makes more sense for them to be with animal control and at, you know, whichever shelter can, you know, reunite them with their owner.
Right. Right. So talk a little bit more about the other services that you provide. I went on your website before I came over today, and I was really kind of blown away. I mean, I think a lot of people, including myself, just think that, you know, it's a shelter, but there's a lot of programs. So tell us a little more about those.
Yeah, you know, as I mentioned before, we really want to help people keep pets in their home. We want the shelter to be a last resort for people. So in addition to the spay neuter program and our pet food pantry, we have a couple other options for people if they are, you know, having a hard time caring for their animal. We have a safe haven program. So if someone is a victim of domestic violence, or they lost their home in a fire, or going through another, you know, unfortunate experience in their life, we do house their animal here for a number of weeks. Usually 2 is our cutoff, for free, in order for them to, you know, get their affairs in order. You know, the last thing someone wants to worry about when they're going through something like that is, what am I going to do with my animal?
Right.
So we did start to offer that more and partner with organizations like Catholic Charities and things like that, Salvation Army, to help those people and let them know that their pet will be safe and cared for until they can figure things out. So.
No, that's important. In fact, I had that situation about 3 years ago. I had a heart attack, and of course you don't plan on that. And I was in the hospital for days, and luckily a friend of mine went and got my beagle and took her to my kennel, who was nice enough to, you know, board her until I was ready for free too. So, but I didn't know that you had that available. That's great for the public to know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, every situation is different. We really prefer it to be an emergency situation.
Right.
You know, we don't really have the means to board animals here. But if someone is going through something, you know, such as that, with health or anything, you know, dire, we really do want to help people out.
So when we figured that all out with my dog, it was like 10 o'clock at night. Now, how would that work here? Would there be any way to get somebody, you know, in an extreme emergency, or probably not?
It would have to be during business hours.
Right.
I mean, we do have access to email, so if someone were to reach out in email and we're lucky
nice.
enough to have someone get that notification. But we don't have like a call or switchboard or anything for emergency.
Well, that costs money too, so
right.
you're trying to, so how about fostering?
We do have a pretty good foster program. We have a number of long-time fosters that help us with kittens or cats. Not so much with dogs, but we do have like the means to care for dogs here. We have the space. Cats we tend to fill up a little more quickly, especially with the spring months coming up. And baby kittens without mom, it's very hard to care for them in the shelter because we don't have someone here 24/7.
Yeah.
Those little guys need to be bottle fed every 2 hours or more. So we're very fortunate to have the fosters to take in those little guys and give them a chance.
So how many would you say you have people that are regulars to foster?
I would say we have like on call like 5 to 10 like solid people. Yeah, I mean they're all great, but those ones that we really rely on, and I can think of them offhand that I've known since I started. It's so important, and they are just so selfless. Like I just think it's wonderful. If you have the time, the means, and the space, we provide everything for the fosters. We provide the food, if they have kittens, we provide kitten milk, baby food, litter if it's kittens. We give them all the supplies. So like if someone is interested in fostering, it really just comes down to the time and the space in your home. You do probably want a separate space for the cat or kitten if you do have other pets, just for the health of their animals. But time and space is really all they need. We have all of the items that they need.
Supplies,
so,
yeah. Wonderful. That's great. Let's talk a little bit about funding. I know that a lot of it is relied on donations. Can you talk a little bit about the funding sources that you have?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit, so we do rely solely on the support of our donors. We do get a bit of grant funding. We've had some help from the Community Foundation. They've been a great help for us. Yeah, I mean we rely on them for a lot. And we've gotten grants from the Anderson Foundation, ASPCA. John, our shelter manager, has been really great about writing grants, and Tom, the director, they'll write up some grants every once in a while if we do need, that extra help. But yeah, I mean, we solely rely on donations from our donor base, and just appreciate so much the help that we get.
Right. And you do fundraisers?
We do fundraisers.
What kind of fundraisers do you guys do?
I would say our events are one of our main ones. We have like the direct mail appeals and different things like that where we reach out to donors, but our events are huge as far as fundraising goes. We have little ones here and there, and then we have our big events like Celebrity Chef, Wine, Wags, and Whiskers. That tends to be more in like the springtime and summertime, but we're starting to do more mini fundraisers and try and partner with like some local breweries or wineries.
Right. Nice.
Just get people in a fun atmosphere, and build those partnerships. So the events, I would say, are another big fundraising aspect for us.
Great. I mean, I think the public probably contains a ton of people that love this mission. I think that's one thing that you have going for you, is you don't really have to probably beg. There's the people that are animal lovers, they're just animal lovers, like you and I. So that kind of helps to, boost people, and so you give them the avenue to donate, and I'm sure it works out well. But.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to market what we have going on here.
Yeah.
It's not only adorable but super important.
Sure.
So I think it's nice to be a voice for the animals when they can't really speak for themselves. So yeah.
So local commerce is a question I'm asking everyone that I interview, and of course you obviously rely on the local people, which is local commerce. What can you say about the importance in this mission in terms of people focusing on local?
Well, I think, to piggyback off of that, partnerships with other nonprofits. Like I said, we partner with the Food Bank of the Southern Tier. Partnerships with other shelters. We work a lot with Bradford County Humane Society. Who else? TLC TNR. She does trap neuter release for us and helps with our spay neuter program as well. Her name's Carm. She's a wonderful woman. So I think working together as nonprofits and as shelters, I think sometimes there can be a little bit of competition between shelters for whatever reason, but you know, working together with other shelters is super important in terms of, you know, helping the animals, because if a shelter reaches out to us and they're like, we don't have space for this dog right now, do you have the space, or vice versa, it's really nice to know that you have that to fall back on, and that you can work together, because you're, at the end of the day, you're all, you know, fighting for the same thing.
Yes.
You're all here to do the same thing for the animals. So I think being able to work together and letting the public know that you know, it's not a competition. If you decide to go to another shelter to adopt an animal, that's great, because if we don't have what you're looking for, there's, you know, hundreds and thousands of other animals that need homes and shelters.
Right. So I'm just sitting here now thinking about the animals, and I'm curious. Obviously, it's not just dogs and cats. What other animals do you normally take in?
It is just dogs and cats.
Oh, it is.
Here.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Yep, just dogs and cats. I think since I've been here, we've had maybe a rabbit. He didn't stay long. He got transferred to another shelter that has the means to care for them. We just have the housing and the the materials to care for dogs and cats here. At one point, we may have done small animals, but that was before my time, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So the adoption process, my beagle that I have now, it was a rescue, and I got it from, I live up in Schuyler County, so I got it from Schuyler County SPCA, and it was a great experience. I was impressed with, and I'm sure it's the same here, in terms of the folder that they give you, all the information they give you, the capture date, of course the vet visit, and you know, they're very clear about what you need to do as an adoptee, or an adopter, I guess it would be. So talk a little bit about the process and the difficulty or ease of it, because I don't know how that would rate, and the cost for people.
So since I've been here, we've been trying to work toward more, not necessarily an open adoption, but just a less intense process for people. We don't want to turn anyone away. That being said, we do screen carefully. We do vet checks. So if someone has other animals in the home, to do another rabies vaccine, that is required by law. So we don't want to send an animal. All of our animals go out with their rabies vaccines, but just to know that if your animals have at least seen a vet before. If someone rents their home, we do call the landlord to make sure that they can have that animal there. And you know, just judge of character. You can tell a lot about the way someone interacts with an animal, but what I've been trying to instill in customer service, and I think we're doing pretty well with that, is, you know, most everyone has good intentions, and if they're coming to an animal shelter, they're already making the right choice there. You know, they're avoiding a pet store, or, you know, breeders and which,
milk. Not
to say they're all bad,
right,
but you know, by making a choice to come to an animal shelter, you're already one step in the right direction. So we're working toward making it an easier process, not so intensive, but we do still screen. You know, we're not just gonna send dogs and cats wherever we want, but so adoption process, it can be, you know, same day to next day. It's pretty quick. So as long as we have all the information we need from landlord and can get a hold of the landlord and the vet pretty easily, we can send the animal home that day. If they're looking to adopt a dog and they have another dog in the home, we do require a shelter meet and greet. So they have to bring their dog here to meet the shelter dog to make sure everyone's gonna get along. What else? So
how about the vet? Like, I know when I got my beagle, I had to check in with my vet within a certain time, a week or whatever. Is that true?
We have that as well. So if someone is approved and does decide to adopt a dog or a cat, we ask that they get the animal to the vet within the first 5 working days of having that animal. or at least call and set an appointment. Part of the adoption fee includes a free vet exam. So, you know, when they set up that appointment with the vet, they'll have that initial fee waived, and then if they need additional vaccines, you know, they will have to cover that cost. But I think it's an incentive to just make sure that, you know, as far as we know, the animals that we adopt out are healthy, but it's good to develop that relationship with the vet in case of an emergency or something.
And I can attest to a real life situation with mine too. I'm grateful that was the requirement, because I took Holly to my vet the second day I had her. I got her on a Sunday actually morning, and I took her Tuesday to the vet, and guess what? She had Lyme disease. So, but the good end of the story is that because I got her right in, they started the shots, the 6-month shots, and knock on wood, she has no symptoms of any problems, and she might have had I not taken her right then.
Right.
So,
yeah. Which is another thing. You know, the unfortunate thing is shelters have the means to only test and treat for so much.
Right. Sure.
You know, we do our very best to send out healthy animals, but you know, there are things like heartworm or Lyme disease that we just don't have the means to treat or test for. When we did southern transports, we made sure everyone was heartworm free, because it is a little more prevalent in the south.
Oh, is it?
It's becoming more prevalent in the north, honestly, especially with like the wet springs and the warmer temperatures and things like that. The warmer winters, it is becoming more prevalent up here. So make sure you treat your animal for heartworm.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have, not to say that all shelters can't do it. I'm sure most of the shelters in the South probably do because of the prevalence there. But yeah, so adoption fees vary depending on age. We do have a wonderful Seniors for Seniors program. So an animal over the age of 8 can go home for free with an adopter over the age of 60, which I think is a nice incentive.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually the senior dogs or cats want sort of a more mellow home anyway.
And the people want a more mellow dog.
Exactly. So I love that program. Fee waived for Seniors for Seniors. Included in the adoption fee, so what we do test and treat for here, we do rabies and distemper vaccines for all of our animals, as long as they're old enough to have a rabies shot. They have to be 3 months or older. We treat for internal and external parasites, so flea treating, deworming. We microchip everyone. What else do we do? Everyone's spayed or neutered, obviously, before leaving the building. We do the free vet exam. They get toys and treats. I feel like I'm missing something, but that might be everything.
That's a lot.
But they get a lot. They get a lot. We do make sure that everyone is as healthy as possible before leaving the shelter, and it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's more than you're going to get at your average pet store or breeder.
And at the same time, you want to be restrained in the sense that you want your resources to go to as many animals as possible. So you can't do everything.
Right.
Then it makes sense. Otherwise, you'd be able to help less. So let's talk numbers. How many dogs, cats are here now? Ballpark.
Now, honestly, we had an amazing week of adoptions last week. We have an empty dog adoption room, which happens maybe once or twice a year.
Darn, I was hoping to look for the beagles today.
I know. So we had a very great week for adoptions last week. So we have probably 3 or 4 dogs in the building, because we do still have dogs that are in
I hear
intake.
one of our friends. If you guys can hear that.
Miss Zoe, she came in with a pretty bad skin infection, so she's being treated for that until we put her up for adoption. There's a couple other guys back there that just came in. Cats, we have anywhere from 20 to 40 cats in the building at a time. I think we're a little more full on cats right now, so we're probably between 30 and 40.
And I would imagine you probably always have more cats than dogs.
Yep.
That's a no-brainer.
Yep, always more cats than dogs.
Yep.
We take in about 1,200 animals a year, so it really depends on the year, but it's starting to get to that time of year where we're filling up on cats very quickly and have to start putting people on a waiting list to bring cats in. So it's really fun.
Great. Well, I am so happy to come and help the mission. I feel like these videos I'm doing are helping small businesses, but this is even more, I think, of a a positive, because it is a nonprofit and it is about animals, and the work you guys do here is really a great thing, and nobody would dispute that. So I want to thank you for your time and welcoming me here. Do you have anything else you'd like the public to know?
I think just, you know, any way you can support the shelter. I think people think that the only way they can support is by a monetary donation, but you know, donating items to the shelter animals, we always need, you know, food or treats or bedding, you know, different things like that. We have a wish list up on our website.
And people can come in and volunteer, correct?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I mean, time. If you can't give anything, you know, tangibly, yeah, you just bringing yourself to the shelter. We have books in the cat adoption rooms. You can bring your kids in and read to the kitties. Officially volunteer, you do have to go through an orientation, but all the information is up on our website. It's a pretty easy process. And then, you know, you can come in anytime, walk the dogs, hang with the cats, yeah.
Nice. So again, this is Erin Brucey. You want to give me your contact information before we sign off?
Yes. You can contact me at the shelter. The phone number is on our website, or my email address is abrucey@chemungspca.org.
Awesome. And remember, I'm Mike Lanning. I'm a local realtor. If anyone is looking to buy or sell, please give me a call at 607-351-2070. And remember, this video will be linked on Facebook, and it'll take you to parkbench.com. So check out Parkbench. This is like the 14th interview, Erin.
Awesome.
So there's a lot of them on there and a lot more to come. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
You can contact the Chemung County SPCA by going on the web, www.chemungspca.org, or call 732-1827. The SPCA is open 6 days a week. To help support these videos and my website at parkbench.com, I would appreciate any real estate leads. Please call me at 607-351-2070.